वालेकुम सलाम सर।
जी ज़रा बताएं जी, यहाँ से मेरा कल शुरू करना है। पहली एग्जांपल्स कर ली।
यस सर।
Okay. Now we have a Bernoulli probability distribution. In this distribution, the activity is called Bernoulli activity or Bernoulli experiment. It is a single activity which has two possible outcomes. This is called Bernoulli. And this activity is called Bernoulli trial or Bernoulli experiment. For example, we draw a single card and find about whether it is hot or not. We draw an item and consider the defective, whether it is defective or not defective. We toss a coin whether we have a head or not getting a head. So all these activities are Bernoulli because there are exactly two possible outcomes. Whatever is under consideration, that is called a success, and other is the failure. So it has two possible outcomes, a failure, a success and a failure. Let we toss a coin and observe the number of heads. So first of all, define your variable that x denotes the number of heads. Then the range of x. The range of x is 0 and 1. 0 means we don't have head, and 1 means we are getting a head. As we are familiar with this activity, the sample space is containing two possible outcomes, t and h. T correspond to x equal to 0 and h correspond to x equal to 1. Now we find the probability for each value of x. For x0, 1 by 2, and for x equal to 1, again we have 1 by 2. If we show these probabilities in the form of a table, this is called a complete Bernoulli probability distribution for x. So we have discussed certain characteristics for this Bernoulli trial, that there is only one trial and with exactly two possible outcomes, a success or a failure, with probability P and Q. The outcomes are independent. The sum of the probability of a success and a failure is equal to 1. That is, P plus Q is equal to 1. Now comes the binomial distribution. If we repeat a Bernoulli trial finite many times, this means when an activity is repeated finite many times and every time we have two possible outcomes, such that a success or a failure with probability P and Q respectively, such that P plus Q is equal to 1. This is called binomial probability distribution. When our trial is repeated n time, we have n outcomes, out of which we have failure and successes, and we observe. If we observe the number of heads in this activity, then there may be 0 head, 1 head, zero success, one success, or maximum we can have n successes. Now if we find the probability for x successes, then p power x we have, and other n minus x are the failure, so q power n minus x we have. This is the probability. But in how many number of ways we can make different combinations of these n outcomes? These n outcomes having x successes, so we have ncx number of combinations. So to get the total probability, or to consider all possible cases, this will be the probability for x successes, and this becomes the formula for probability mass function for a binomial probability distribution. Look at this problem, that a fair coin is tossed 5 times, and consider the number of heads and find the probability to get 2 heads. This is a binomial problem. So for this purpose, first of all, define your variable, its range, and the value of p. Value of p. What is p? That is the probability of 1. If we are defining number of heads in x, so p will be the probability for 1 head. If we are considering number of defective parts in x, so p will be the probability for 1 defective part. If we are drawing cards from 52 playing cards, and x denotes the number of hearts, so p will be the probability for 1 heart. So p is the probability for 1 always, whatever is under consideration. So p is the probability for 1 heart, means 1 by 2 is the probability of p. Obviously q is 1 minus p. In all the cases, p plus q is equal to 1. That's why q is 1 minus p. That is again 1 by 2. Now the probability for 2 heads means we need the probability for x equal to 2. So putting in the formula, we get the answer. Also go through the alternative case when the coin is biased, that is, the head is 3 times as likely to occur as a tail. This means the probability of a head is 3 times than that of the tail. So if the probability of a tail is w, then 3w is the probability of a head. Jointly they are equal to 1. This means 4w is equal to 1. So we have w equal to 1 by 4 as the probability of a tail. Therefore, the probability of a head is 3 times, that is 3 by 4. Now define your variable, its range, denotes the number of heads in this activity, so the range is 0, 1, 2 in this case. Then we have to define the probability p. P is the probability of 1 head in this case, which is 3 by 4. Now come to your requirement. For the probability for two heads, this means we need the probability for x equal to 2. Put in the formula, a p will be raised to the power 2 and a q will be raised to the power 3. I'm sorry, because jointly we have 5 outcomes. 2 are the heads and rest of the 3 are the tails. So as we are considering 2 heads out of 5 outcomes, so 5C2 will be the coefficient. Now, if 20% of a bolt, 20% of the bolts produced by a machine are defective, determine the probability that out of 4 bolts chosen at random, there are 1, there is 1 bolt defective. Let me need this probability. So first of all, define your variable denoting the number of defective parts, its range, and probability p. P is the probability for one defective, which is given 20%, means to 0.20. So q is 0.80. Now find the probability. First of all, we mention the probability function and then find the probability. Probability for 1 means p power 1 and q power 3, and 4c1 is the coefficient. So that is the probability to get 1 defective bolt. Similarly for 0 and less than 2. Less than 2 means we sum up all the probabilities for x less than 2. If we need the probability for mean and variance for this binomial random variable, this is equal to np and variance is equal to 4np. We have mentioned here in this case no. Mean and variance for a binomial random variable x. That is equal to mean expected value of x, and that is equal to np. Just remember, and variance that is calculated through this formula, expected value of x square minus the square of the expected value of x. It will be equal to npq. We can verify. But derivation and proofs are not included in your exam, so skip at the moment. Hence, the mean and variance for a binomial random variable is equal to NP and NPQ. Further, let me go through this example. Test for impurities commonly found in drinking water from private wells showed that 30% of all the wells in a particular county have impurity A. This probability is obtained by the observation, and or you can say by the past experience, or through certain survey. We get this ratio. Now, if a random sample of 5 wells is selected from a large number of wells in a county, what is the probability that exactly 3 will have impurity A? So first of all, define your variable, its range, value of P, and then the requirement. In this way, the requirement is very simple. The probability for exactly 3 wells having impurity A is actually the probability for x equal to 3, because we have defined our variable. As the probability for 3 is required, so P will be raised to the power 3, and rest of the 2 outcomes are the failure. So Q power 2 we have. How the coefficient? As 3 are required, so 5C3 is the coefficient. Now, if we need the probability for at least 3, so that means we find the probability for x greater or equal to 3. 3 is our minimum limit. So we will calculate the probability from 3 to onward up to maximum limit of 5. That's why we sum up the probability for x equal to 3, 4 and 5, applying the formula for each probability and get the answer. Fewer than 3 means we sum up the probability for all the values of x which are less than 3. That means we add up the probability for x equal to 0, x equal to 1 and x equal to 2. Similarly, go through these solved problems. They are very simple. Okay, let me discuss this example. Okay. A large chain retailer purchases a certain kind of electronic device from a manufacturer. Manufacturer already indicates that the defective rate of the devices is 3%. Okay, the inspector of the retailer randomly pick up 20 items from a shipment, from a single shipment. What is the probability that there will be at least one defective item among these 20? The problem is very simple, that value of small n is 20, value of P is 3%, means 0.03, hence Q is 0.97, and we find the probability for at least one. That means either we add up the probability for x equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to x equal to 20, or apply the complementation law. How to apply the complementation? 1 minus the probability of the value which is on the other side, At least one means we consider all of these probabilities from 1 to 20. We are leaving, we are skipping only one value. So why shouldn't we calculate the probability by calculating these by calculating the excluded part and subtracting from 1, we will get our required answer. So this is our required probability. But the proper way is to define the variable first of all, then its range, value of P, and then the formula. Then come to the requirement. In this way, you will get a perfect answer. If you directly starting from here, there are chances of mistakes. Now look at the part B, the statement of the part B. Suppose that the retailer receives 10 shipments in a month, and the inspector randomly tests 20 devices per shipment. Okay, this is the activity in part B. What is the probability that there will be 3 shipments containing at least one defective device out of 20? Out of 20. So in this case, in this part, a sample of 10 shipments are drawn. So define your variable in this case. Y denotes the number of shipments. Why we are drawing these shipments? Number of shipments having at least one defective in a sample of 20. We are observing that a shipment, whether containing at least one defective in a sample of 20. So what is P? P is always the probability for 1. What is that 1? The probability for one shipment. So P is the probability for one shipment having at least one defective in a sample of 20. This thing we have done in part A. We have observed a single shipment from which we draw 20 items as a sample and find the probability that this sample containing at least one defective. So P is the probability which we have calculated in part A. So obviously Q is 1 minus P, which is equal to 0.5438. Now the problem is simple. We just need the probability for Y is equal to 3. 10C 3 is the coefficient, P power 3 and Q power 7. We have our required probability. Next probability distribution is Poisson. That is exactly the binomial distribution, but due to smaller value of P if it is less than 0.05 and the larger value of N. Sample size is larger in this case. We prefer Poisson distribution. The formula for this, the formula for probability mass function for Poisson random variable is mu x e power minus mu divided by x factorial, where mu is equal to NP, and we are familiar with NP. NP is the mean value. In this distribution, the mean and the variance are the same. The mean and the variance of a Poisson random variable is the same, which is equal to mu. Remember these mean and variance for individual probability distributions. Okay, look at this statement. In a certain industrial factory, accidents occur infrequently. Yes, they have sufficient security measures, so accidents occur infrequently. It is known that the probability of an accident on any given day is 0.005, very less chances to have an accident, 0.005. Obviously, 0.005 is less than 0.05, the criteria about the Poisson distribution. So we prefer here, in this case, Poisson distribution on this basis, that P is very small. Even N is also very large, but we have decided on the basis of P already. What is the probability that in any given period of 400 days, there will be an accident on one day? The value of N is 400. If we apply here binomial distribution, this will be the answer. But as decimals are raised to a larger power, that's why this will give us certain error. That's why we prefer Poisson distribution. So first of all, define your variable. X denotes the number of days in which we have an accident. This is the range. What is the value of P? P is the probability for 1. What 1? As X denotes the number of days, so P is the probability for 1 day. P denotes the probability for 1 day to have an accident. P denotes the probability of 1 day to have an accident. The other statement was also correct. Okay, in this way, now we calculate mu, because mu is used in the formula. Then state the formula in a proper way. This is the formula. After putting the value of mu. So come to your requirement. We need the probability that we may have an accident on 1 day. That is the probability for X equal to 1. So put X equal to 1 in the formula and calculate the answer. Similarly, also check all these problems which are already solved. Remember, sometimes we are given the probability P, just like in this case we have discussed in our previous example. Also check this example also. In a manufacturing process where glass products are made, defects or bubbles occur occasionally, rendering the piece undesirable for marketing. That is the wastage. On the average, 1 in every 1,000 of these items produced has 1 or more bubbles. So this is the average. On average, we have this defect. Similarly, in all engineering problems, we have this situation when we draw a sample and very rare chances of the defect. On that basis, we find the probability in a large sample. In a large sample of 8,000. Actually, in civil engineering, people draw large samples, larger and larger samples. They observe a number of days, they observe a number of months, they observe a number of years for the lifetime, for a certain environmental situation. They observe many years, they observe many days or months. So that's mean they consider larger and larger samples. So just try to understand the situation, which distribution is preferably to use in such cases. As average is given, so no doubt we will use Poisson distribution because n is very large. But even if we find the probability P, that is also very less. Hence, obviously, we prefer Poisson. First of all, define your variable. Probability P already mentioned here. So come to your requirement. In some cases, like in these unsolved problems, we are given the average. We are given the average. Also, we are given the average. On the average, we have certain things. So, as in most of the cases, we are given average. So, this average means this is the value of mu to use Poisson formula or Poisson distribution. But in each case, we must define our variable first. Okay, let's try this example. The probability of a man aged 50 years will die within a year. We observe such a situation when we are getting services of such people, we are inducting such people, or we because we also have to facilitate such people by giving certain facilities of medical convenience, etc. So we have to observe the situation that a man aged 50 years will die within a year is 0.01125, very less chances. So we observe 12 such men and find the probability that at least 11 will reach their 51st birthday. That means at least 11 will not die. We need this probability. So here, as the probability is given for one man aged 50 years that he will die, this probability is given. So for one, we take an advantage to use this probability as the value of P. And on this basis, we define our variable. Let me define our variable that is showing the number of men who will die within a year. This is the range. So easily we can define now the probability P, because given P is the probability for a man. who will die within a year. Now the situation very much clear. To apply Poisson distribution, now come to your requirement. After calculating the value of mu, formula, state the formula, and now the requirement. We need that at least 11 will reach their 51st birthday, means at least 11 will not die. At least 11 means either 11 will not die or 12 will not die. But this is not equal to the probability for x equal to 11 or x equal to 12. The probability that 11 will not die doesn't mean the probability for x equal to 11. And probability for 12 will not die is not equal to the probability for x equal to 12, because the variable showing the people who will die, x denoting the number of people who will die, but here we need the probability that 11 will not die, so they are not corresponding to the value of x equal to 11 and x equal to 12. So we think some alternative. 11 will not die means 1 will die, and 12 will not die means 0 will die. So in this way, now the situation is clear. This is corresponding to the probability for x equal to 1, and this corresponds to the probability for x equal to 0. Using the formula, we will get the answer. Next is negative binomial. Negative binomial, just like binomial again, but with a little rephrasing the situation. Let me try to convert our previous problems to a negative binomial. We start from the first one. When a coin is tossed 5 times, and consider the number of heads and find the probability to get 2 heads. This is our target. We can also achieve this target by rephrasing the statement, that find the probability that we get second head at 5th toss of the coin. Look at both the statements and try to understand the difference. In first statement, tosses are fixed, and within these tosses we need to find 2 heads. This was the situation, but now our target is fixed. We need to find 2 heads, and this may be in this target is achieved maybe in 5th toss, maybe in 10th toss, maybe in 15th toss, maybe in 20th toss, or maybe we have to toss 100 times. Here the activity is the variable, the trials are the variables, and target is fixed. For example, an insurance representative comes with a single policy in UET and try to sell this single policy. Now he started to visit number of peoples. Maybe he is successful on very first visit. Maybe at second visit, second person purchases. Maybe fifth person purchases his policy. Maybe 20th person is purchasing his policy. So he will continue to visit the people till to achieve the this single target. This is the situation of negative binomial. Okay, how to solve this? We are getting second head in fifth toss. This will be the situation. The outcomes of 5 tosses is now here. We have in which last one is our second head. Fifth outcome is our second head. What is the probability? In these 5 outcomes, we have 2 heads and 3 tails. So P will be raised to the power 2 and Q will be raised to the power 3. This is the probability. But how the coefficient is generated? Our last outcome is known. Because this is our last target, that's why we know. This is the last target, we are stopping there. That's why we know this position. So we cannot change this position. Because if second head is coming at third toss, then no need to toss further. Then we don't have 5 tosses. So that's why in this case we are finding the probability that at fifth toss we are getting our second head. That's why this position is fixed. That's why this will not involve in making the combination. All previous will involve in making the combination. The previous outcomes are 4, in which we have 1 head. So 4C1 is the coefficient. That's why 4C1 is the coefficient. What is the difference? In binomial, we have 5C2 as the coefficient. But here, in this case, we have 4C1 as the coefficient. Rest of the powers are the same. But if a student solve a negative binomial problem with this coefficient, with the coefficient of the binomial distribution, the question is wrong because he is not understanding the situation. He does not know that this problem is related to negative binomial. Complete question will be false. Next is geometric. Geometric and negative binomial having a little difference. In geometric, we have a single target. In all the problems of negative binomial, if we have a single target, this is related to geometric distribution. But even then, you can solve it using negative binomial by considering single target. For example, For a certain manufacturing process, it is known that on the average 1 in every 100 item is defective. This is the probability of a defective item. What is the probability that fifth item inspected is the first defective? We are not at first 4 attempts. In first 4 trials, we are not successful, and we are getting a success at 5th trial, at 5th draw. This means the probability is p power 1, p power 1, and q power 4. How should be the coefficient? Coefficients are generated by the outcomes except the last one. So all previous will generate combinations. As all these outcomes are the same, so there is no combination. Single combination we have F, 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 and F. So here the coefficient is 1. This is the answer. Single target you will have. Also remember the mean and variance for geometric, and also mean and variance for negative binomial. This is the mean and variance for negative binomial. If we put k is equal to 1, this becomes geometric, and similarly the mean and variance are changed to the mean and variance of geometric distribution. Next one is hypergeometric. We have solved these problems very frequently without knowing the name of the distribution. Look at the problem. A box contains 3 white and 5 black balls. 2 are randomly selected. What is the probability that our sample contains exactly 1? We have discussed such problems. In previous chapter of probability, we discussed an example in which we draw 2 cards from the deck of 52 playing cards, and finding the probability to get both heart. None of the 2 is heart. Probability for 1 heart. Probability for second is heart. Probability for at least 1 heart, at most 1 heart. And also we considered the probability when we draw 2 items or 3 items and find the defectives. Find the probability that our sample contains 1 defective, 2 defective, at least 1 defective, at most 1 defective, all defective, none of the 2 is defective. This is the same problem. We solve such problems either using the multiplication rule, in which we apply the case of without replacement. Also, we have discussed the problem of the tires which have a certain lifetime of 40,000 miles with certain probability. What is the probability that 2 tires having lifetime, at 3 tires having lifetime out of the 4, at least 1 tire having the lifetime? The same problem. And we solved in that chapter in such problems with both the techniques. We apply multiplication rule using without replacement case, and also we use the combination technique. Now once again go through this example only. When we need to find the probability for one white, this means this one white may be first one or it may be second one. So we have two possible cases. When it is first one, the probability is 3 by 8. Second will be black. The probability is 5 by 7. Here the total possible cases are reduced because we are considering without replacement case. Similarly, when second is white, first one will be black. The probability for first one is 5 by 8. Probability for second one is 3 by 7. Or use combination rule. Remember, in combination rule, we don't have to consider the possible cases. All the possible cases are considered in this formula. Favorable cases dividing by the total possible cases. How the total possible cases are generated? As we are drawing 2 out of 8, so 8C2 are the total possible cases. How to calculate favorable cases? As we are interested in one white, so one is coming from 3 white and other one is coming from black category. So in this way, favorable cases divide favorable cases by total possible cases. Consider also when we need to find the probability for both white, first white and second white. Apply the multiplication rule or use the combinations. When both are white, this means both are coming from white category and nothing coming from black category, divided by the total possible cases. जी बताएं जी, any question?
सर आंसर दोनों 3 मेथड से सेम आएगा ना, कॉम्बिनेशन और मल्टीप्लिकेशन?
100% सेम आएगा. एक दफ़ा एक स्टूडेंट ने ऐसा किया कि यहाँ भी केसेस कंसीडर कर लिए, तो लेकिन जब कॉम्बिनेशन यूज़ किया तो वहाँ भी केसेस यूज़ कर लिए. यहाँ ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. न्यूमरेटर में अगर आप डिफरेंट केसेस बनाएं भी तो 3C1 मल्टीप्लाई 5C1 ये कम्यूट कर रहे हैं कि अगर लेट से इफ द आंसर इज 3 और 5, तो 3 को 5 से मल्टीप्लाई करें या 5 को 3 से मल्टीप्लाई करें, वी हैव द सेम आंसर. यहाँ आप केसेस नहीं कंसीडर करेंगे, ये याद रखें. जब आप विदाउट रिप्लेसमेंट टेक्निक अपनाते हैं तो पॉसिबल केसेस बनाएंगे. In the same way, consider all these solved problems. इसमें मैंने दोनों तरीके यूज किए हैं, कहीं नहीं भी होंगे वो आपको ट्राई कर लें. Some of the exercises are unsolved. That is the end of this chapter. Next we will continue from next chapter of continuous random variable and with their probability distributions. There are so many continuous probability distributions, but we will consider few of them. We will consider uniform, exponential and normal.
Okay, sir.
Okay, inshallah next week we will meet again. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, sir.